So that's kind of what I work on. And now I'm like, so at Harvard, I'm working on a project to think about something bigger, not just how much you produce, but fairness, right? A big problem in society in general. Like there's all the work of Piketty, for example, showing all the inequality. There's a
Hmm.
huge problem today within countries and among countries. And it's also the case in science. There is an amazing paper by Ball and co-authors that was very recently published in American Economic Review, talking about the lost Einsteins.
Hmm.
So if you look at people producing patents and
Hmm.
producing scientific research, that is what is creating all the technology that we see around us today.
Yeah.
They're like totally overrepresented by white male and by like a certain specific regions and areas. So if you just suppose that talent is equally distributed, which is
Hmm.
like a fair assumption, right? Like we're
Hmm.
all like talent and intelligence is equally distributed. Then if you just suppose that it's equally distributed and you just like distribute it fairly over women and minorities
Hmm.
and developing countries, there's all these what they call lost Einsteins. These people who have amazing talent, they just don't have the right opportunity
Hmm.
to produce this talent. There's another paper also by Patrick Gollet and Agraval, also recently published, looking at people in math Olympiads. And what they find is that if you're doing a math Olympiad and you perform really well, you're a gold medalist in a developed country, then like you end up doing usually PhDs, like some of them become Nobel Prize, they do great. But if you're in a developing country, usually you have much less probability of doing that, although the rate of success, so people who get the gold medal, are similar in developing and developed
Wow.
countries.
So
So
their
talent is more
score,
or less the same.
their score, if they would have been in the same competition, they will rank similarly.
Exactly, they are because it's internationally. So they
Yeah.
do like similar scores. But if you're in a developing country, you
Ah,
just
okay.
like, I mean, you do some good things in your life, but much less. And like, it's such a lost opportunity, right?
What's the break? What's the limiting factor, or the fact that they, if you have to say one factor, do you have an idea? Why do they not go further?
So there are several factors. The main one is
Yeah.
just there are several factors. So one of them is just money. Like
Yeah.
like they need to go and education. So you were saying again, research is all about collaborations. Alone, they couldn't invent
No.
the I don't know like the new best thing, right? So they would need to go to certain universities. So actually, some people are trying to study. Like there were some programs in MIT to get these medalists to
Mm.
get scholarships in
Hmm.
MIT,
Hmm.
and they're checking like how they differ from people who actually didn't get
Hmm.
these scholarships. So one
Hmm.
thing is just that you just don't have the money or the opportunity to go to
Yeah.
best universities to get the education that allowed them to leverage
Yeah.
this talent that they have and these skills that they have. Another reason is actually just knowledge. We were talking about it before. Like I noticed it a lot when I was teaching in Paris. There's a huge gap of knowledge between people inside Paris who go to the best schools and people outside of Paris, just in the suburbs, who usually go to like they call them
Hmm.
zone d'éducation prioritaire in
Yeah.
France, so like
Exactly.
ZEP,
Yeah. Yeah.
who like some of them are brilliant, like really, and super eager to learn. Like you couldn't say anything about them. It's not this image of like these like rebel people who don't want to learn. They're super eager to learn. They do like 1 hour of public transport to come to this class. They like everything is amazing about them. The only thing is like for them it's already a dream to just do a bachelor in like a very applied field because that's already like unachievable. Like the best people they know around them is somebody who did like a BTS in like communication. That's like wow, that's like the best thing. But when you see them, you see their talent, their skills, you're like, dude, you can do like amazing things. You could do
Hmm.
math, you're
Hmm.
like really good, you're super smart, super creative, and
Hmm.
like you have to tell them for them to be confident about it and just to know about it. Like they don't even know how to apply to a math degree.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that's kind of a similar story for the math Olympiad winners in
Yeah.
developing countries. And so that's a project we're working on, trying to see who gets the information, how it gets there, and maybe how try to understand how we can make more people have access to the education and how
Yeah, that's super cool.
like all talented people. So I think these are like all interesting.